hot mess that they air in the mornings, called The View, had to issue not one, not two.
The morning talk show The View, a staple of daytime television, found itself in hot water recently, issuing not one, not two, not three, but 4 legal corrections in response to a series of missteps that sparked widespread backlash. The controversy erupted after the show's hosts, led by Whoopi Goldberg, made inflammatory remarks about a Turning Point USA event attended by 5,000 high school and college students. The comments, which smeared the young attendees, prompted a fierce response from conservative commentators Kirk and Megyn Kelly, who teamed up to deliver a takedown so sharp it left the show reeling. The fallout was chaotic, culminating in a rare on-air apology from Goldberg, who appeared shaken, her usual confidence replaced by a stunned silence that spoke volumes. This wasn't just a single bad day for The View. It was a public unraveling that exposed deeper issues with the show's approach, its hosts' rhetoric, and its disconnect from its audience. The incident began when The View's panel, known for its fiery debates and unfiltered opinions, targeted Turning Point USA's recent summit. The conservative organization, founded by Kirk, had hosted thousands of young people for a weekend of speeches and discussions. Instead of acknowledging the event's scale or purpose, the hosts, with Goldberg at the helm, painted the attendees as problematic, lumping them in with fringe protesters and making broad assumptions about their character. The remarks weren't just offhand. They were pointed, carrying the kind of dismissive tone that's become a hallmark of the show's commentary. For the students, many of whom were teenagers traveling across the country to engage in political discourse, the accusations were a personal attack, one that could follow them for years. The backlash was swift and unrelenting. Kirk, a polarizing figure known for his quick wit and unapologetic style, didn't just respond, he went on the offensive. As the founder of Turning Point USA and author of The College Scam, Kirk took the smear personally, not because of the attack on him, but because of the 5,000 young people he felt were unfairly targeted. He argued that public figures like himself are used to criticism, but dragging teenagers into the fray was a step too far. Kirk didn't hold back, using his platform to call out The View for what he saw as a pattern of elitism and bias. He accused the show of deliberately misrepresenting the event to avoid acknowledging an inconvenient truth, that thousands of young people were drawn to conservative ideas at a time when gas prices and travel costs are sky high. For Kirk, this wasn't just about a single segment, it was about a broader refusal to engage with opposing views. Megyn Kelly, the former Fox News anchor known for her incisive commentary, joined the fray, bringing a different kind of energy. Where Kirk was a sledgehammer, Kelly was a scalpel, dissecting The View's rhetoric with surgical precision. She didn't shout or grandstand. Instead, she laid out a timeline of Goldberg's missteps, framing them as part of a larger pattern of smugness and intellectual laziness. Kelly's critique was devastating because it wasn't emotional, it was clinical. She pointed to specific moments where Goldberg and her co-hosts had veered into hyperbole or misinformation, painting a picture of a show that had lost its way. The View, once a platform for meaningful dialogue, had become, in Kelly's view, a glorified echo chamber, more interested in performative outrage than substantive discussion. The combined force of Kirk and Kelly's critiques was like a 1-2 punch, catching The View off guard. Social media amplified the chaos, with clips of Goldberg's remarks and the subsequent takedowns spreading like wildfire. Meme creators and TikTok editors had a field day, remixing the moment with dramatic zooms, sound effects, and snarky captions. The internet, never one to miss a pile-on, turned the controversy into a full-blown cultural moment, complete with viral hashtags and edited videos that made Goldberg's stunned reaction look like something out of a soap opera. For a show that thrives on attention, this was the wrong kind of spotlight. Goldberg's apology, delivered on air, was a rare moment of vulnerability for the veteran host. Known for her commanding presence and quick-witted clapbacks, she appeared subdued, admitting that she had unfairly categorized the Turning Point USA attendees and expressing regret for her assumptions. "My bad," she said, her tone a far cry from the fiery sermonizer who typically dominates the table. But for Kirk, the apology wasn't enough. He questioned whether it addressed the real harm done to the students, emphasizing that the damage of such public smears lingers, especially for young people just starting to engage in civic life. Kirk's response wasn't just about holding The View accountable. It was about highlighting what he saw as a broader pattern of media bias where conservative voices, particularly those of young people, are dismissed or vilified. The legal corrections issued by The View underscore the severity of the situation. 4 separate retractions suggested that the show's producers recognized the potential for serious consequences, including the threat of a lawsuit from Turning Point USA. Kirk made it clear that legal action was still on the table, with discussions underway involving top attorneys. The prospect of a lawsuit wasn't just about financial damages. It was about sending a message that smearing thousands of young people wouldn't be tolerated. For Kirk, this was personal, a defense of the students who looked to his organization for inspiration and guidance. The View's troubles didn't end with the corrections or the apology. The incident exposed deeper cracks in the show's foundation, raising questions about its relevance and approach. Once billed as a platform for diverse perspectives, The View has increasingly leaned into a predictable rhythm of outrage and one-sided commentary. Its panel, a rotating cast of outspoken personalities, often seems more focused on scoring points than fostering dialogue. Goldberg, as the show's anchor, sets the tone, delivering her takes with a mix of gravitas and sass that's made her a daytime TV icon. But that same style, once a strength, now feels like a liability, with her rants often veering into hyperbole or half-baked opinions that don't hold up under scrutiny. The show's format doesn't help. Designed as a roundtable where strong personalities clash, it thrives on conflict but struggles with nuance. Conversations don't build. They explode, with hosts talking over each other in a race to deliver the most memorable soundbite. Facts are often treated as optional, overshadowed by the need to keep the energy high and the audience engaged. What was once a novel concept, a group of women from different backgrounds discussing the day's issues, has devolved into a shouting match where the loudest voice wins. For viewers craving substance, it's a frustrating spectacle more akin to reality TV than a serious talk show. Goldberg, for her part, has long been the show's lightning rod. Her ability to command the room, whether through a pointed quip or a passionate rant, has made her a cultural force. But that same energy can backfire, as it did in this case. Her remarks about the Turning Point USA event weren't just a misstep. They were emblematic of a broader disconnect. By painting the students with a broad brush, she reinforced the perception that The View is out of touch, more interested in preaching to its audience than engaging with the world outside its studio. Kirk and Kelly seized on this, framing Goldberg's comments as a symptom of a larger problem, a media elite that dismisses dissenting voices while cloaking itself in moral superiority. The internet's reaction only amplified the damage. Social media platforms, particularly X, became a battleground where users dissected every moment of the controversy. Clips of Goldberg's apology were shared alongside Kirk's fiery rebuttals and Kelly's cool-headed analysis, creating a digital pile that left The View scrambling to respond. Meme accounts turned Goldberg's stunned expression into a canvas for humor, with edits that ranged from hilarious to brutal. TikTok creators added their own flair, layering dramatic music and cinematic effects to heighten the chaos. The result was a viral moment that transcended the usual political divides, with even some of The View's loyal viewers questioning the show's approach. What made this controversy so potent was the way it laid bare The View's vulnerabilities. For years, the show has coasted on its reputation as a cultural touchstone, a place where bold opinions and big personalities collide. But that formula, once fresh, now feels stale, like a group chat stuck on the same arguments from a decade ago. The audience has changed, the media landscape has shifted, and The View hasn't kept up. Its reliance on outrage and performative debates has alienated viewers who want more than just noise. Kirk and Kelly didn't just call out a single bad take, they exposed a show that's lost its grip on the cultural conversation,